Be nice if you didn't play with stuff.
Everyone is welcome here, it's time to make new friends. Aquavide Uskava, fill your Glencairn. Share a dram with the Spirit of Edmonton.
Slancha. And good evening, Whiskey brothers, sisters, and friends, and welcome to episode 96 of the Canadian Whiskey Journey's Whiskey Review. I'm Dolph, the creator of the Canadian Whiskey Journey, the Whiskey Book Club, the Spirit of Edmonton on social media, and I'll be your host tonight. So I'm glad to be reviewing the fourth of four whiskeys that are all part of my Alberta's Best Whiskey series. And it was a great one. Now, if you watch me in the recent past, you'll remember that I'll be presenting four whiskeys at various different whiskey festivals this whiskey season, which went from September all the way to late spring. Probably. We'll see. And just in case you want to know what the whiskeys were, we've got Anoka. This is not whiskey. We've got Bridgeland's Tabor Corn Whiskey. And I like putting it that way. Holding it that way is kind of cool. Change hands with the whiskey here. Then we've got Burwood's The Goat. Now, the original The Goat that I had on was matured in sherry cask, whereas this one is finished in red and white port cask. But this is the one I'm pouring at the next festival because this is fantastic. And the fourth one you're going to see in a second. Now, staying consistent, I will tell you what I would say when you come to my booth. And I don't have a whiskey in hand. You're not allowed to do that there, so let's do it properly. Ready? So good day. I'm Dolph, the Spirit of Edmonton, and I'm the president of the Alberta Scotch Society. But these, and I'm pointing at the four whiskeys, are obviously not scotches. We do not sell, we do not distribute these whiskeys, but what we have is we've made a decision that these are the four best craft whiskeys sold right now in Alberta. And we want to promote them to everybody that is at this whiskey gathering. Anyways, and I point to all four of them, and I tell them what I like best about them and why they're there. Not individually, but in all. I say they're all non-chill filtered, natural colored, they're cask strength, mostly. One of them, this one, 45.9%. Really close, it's good. And they don't follow the 1/11th rule, or the 9.09% rule. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If you put it on the bottle or prominently on your website, it's perfect. You're proud of it. Do it. But if you're not proud of it and you're not telling people, that means you're hiding it, and that ain't right. That's what I gotta say. Tonight I'm reviewing the fourth in the lineup. Here it goes. Right there. And again, in my humble opinion, this is one of the best whiskeys I've had. It's Alberta's best rye whiskey on the market right now. And I love my rye. And you can tell by the amount of reviews I've done about ryes, these ryes and the numerous ryes in the collection. I love my rye whiskey. I do. But this one's unique. There's something special about this rye. Now, just to give you the background information, 750 mils. It's 88% rye, 12% barley, not as a mash bill, but a melding of barrels that gave us that. The barrels were American oak barrels and it was in there for 3.5-4 years. And it's got a number 2 char from Kelvin Cooperage in Louisville, Kentucky. Now, I'm going to try to show you let's do this. The media that they have for this. It's really quite good. So let's do that. I'm going to click.
Rocky Mountain Water. Alberta Prairie Grains.
They did a great job with this.
Those are two things we knew it would take when we shook hands and agreed to start a craft distillery in 2014. We knew what we wanted to create. We just didn't know how to get there. We've been to Scotland, Japan, Switzerland, and across the US on a journey to find out. But it has always brought us back home, to the very place that inspired us to start the distillery and to define a wildlife. What we know now about whiskey is what makes it so unique. An intangible blend of ingredients, environment, and time. that turns hard work into liquid gold. For us, whiskey isn't a product. It's a promise. To each other, to ourselves, to the place we call home. To bring our best each and every day for each and every bottle. Because this is more than just whiskey. This is wildlife.
And it's fantastic. That was really good too. Like when you see certain well done promotions, it kind of gets the emotions going a little bit with it, eh? So they did a good job on that one. And let's get to the tasting notes. And right away, you can see how it's different, how it's unique. It doesn't have the white pepper. It doesn't have the commonalities that we get out of our whiskeys. It sets itself apart with the floral nose and the floral palate. We'll talk about palate in a second, but on the nose, it's floral. Don't ask me what type. It's just floral. You get that. Yeah, I'm going to say caramel, although my tasting notes were different from the nose. So the nose, I still get caramel no matter what I do. So caramel. And the other one, and the lasting note that won't change once I thought of it, was mojos. So if you're as old as me, you've had the little mojos and little candies. They were waxy, fruity, so lemon, banana, melon type of candy is what you have. There were mint ones as well, but I'm talking about the fruity ones. And that's what this reminds me of on the nose. That waxiness with the fruit together just hit home. It was like bang. All right, now the palate. Yeah, and that's sweet up front. And I was having a hard time with this before because on the nose I get caramel, but on the palate the sweetness is not a caramel sweetness, it's a confectioner's sugar sweetness. And it's messing me up, and I keep trying to get one to match the other, and I can't. So we're just sticking with this. And I didn't have too much of this. I've had it in my other tastings. I had about that much of it over the past 2 days, really trying to get these notes together. But yeah, this on the palate, confectioner's sugar. I'm sticking with it. Now the floral, and I don't mean dill or herbs. What I mean, it's more like there's hints of rose or violet or lavender. Like if you've ever had cocktails where they put water from these things in it, that's kind of what I'm getting here. And this is not common in a rye at all, but I love it. It's so unique. Yeah, more. Yeah, that's great. All right, so the finish, and I get to have another sip just to establish what the finish is like. Although I know what it is. It's on my notes. I know it, but I'm doing it anyways. Sweet. You get the heat because it's a younger whiskey. It's inevitable. You're getting that heat, but the heat turns into fruit and floral at the end, which is a little bit unique as well, because usually you just end with the heat at the end with most ryes, especially younger ryes. Now this 3.5, 4 years old, it's a good age for a rye because you need that punch, you need the flavor. I've had some very old ryes, and I miss that punch. I miss that flavor. So there's a point where you don't want to pass. It's not for a while, and I'd really love to try 10-year-old rye from these guys at one point, just like some other distilleries have done. But it's lovely. So again, sweet, heat right away, and then the floral fruit at the end. It's cool. Where is this available, my fine feathered friends? This is available at our favorite whiskey outlets in Calgary, Edmonton, and other places. So in Calgary, Kensington Wine Market's got it. World of Whiskey's got it. In Edmonton, our favorites, Whiskey Drop, Keg and Cork has it. In Jasper, Liquor Lodge has got it. And for everywhere else, Wine and Beyond's got it. They're going to rule the world here in Alberta at one point. They carry everything and they do a fantastic job. You could also get at farmers markets. They do that as well. It's about $75. Best place to buy, though, is right at the distillery because they're in Kenmore. And you get to talk to these beautiful people. And you know what? You can do it online as well. Get it there. But if you have the chance, the whole mystique of the area, it's beautiful. You're surrounded by the mountains. You're having rye, beautiful rye whiskey. Enjoy it there. Sláinte, everyone. Have a fantastic night, and I will see you sometime soon. I think. I hope.